shit no more, man.
Me and my girlfriend were going to a wine castle and we sat down for our tasting. And at first they were just very rude and didn't really answer our questions and we didn't really feel welcome. Our server said, "Yes, sir," when I was asking some questions. And I said, "Oh, no, I'm actually not a sir." And instead of apologizing, or I don't know what else you would do other than apologize, they just walked away. Did not acknowledge what I said, just walked away.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Well, guys, you read the title of the video. Our good old friend Nick Contino is back at it again with more controversy. But not only that, this dude has been desperately trying to sweep all these disgusting allegations under the rug for a while now. Now, if you're new to the channel and are not familiar with who Nick Contino is, I would highly recommend you go and watch my last 2 videos I did on this individual to get a better understanding of him. But to give you a quick summary and recap, Nick Contino, who's known online as Lilly Contino, is a transgender activist who has gained infamy online over the past couple of years of his career. He's gained notoriety documenting his so-called life of being a transgender woman. But as time went by in his career, he's been in several amounts of controversy that have really showed thousands of people the kind of person he really is. In the last video I did on Nick, I talked about the allegations that another transgender TikToker called Colleen made on him that were very disturbing. Colleen had basically accused Nick of sexually harassing her into coming to a trip to Las Vegas with him to supposedly hang out together. Now keep in mind that at the time, Colleen was on a Canadian work permit which prevented her from being able to travel out of the area at the time when this happened. But despite her telling Nick that she couldn't go out to Las Vegas with him, he kept trying to pressure her into coming with him for some strange reason. It would then be found out that the real reason Nick wanted Colleen to go with him so badly to Las Vegas was to do OnlyFans content together. This would upset Colleen, and rightfully so, since she was not only next to her wife, who heard literally everything Nick was saying, and that he assumed that Colleen would be willing to go to Las Vegas to do hardcore OnlyFans content with him like it was nothing.
I'm on a Canadian work permit, and the moment I leave Canada, it goes null and void. It's not good anymore. But then we hopped on a Discord video chat, and she was still really insistent on wanting me to get to the US ASAP so we could meet together. She really wanted to know the nitty-gritty of why I couldn't currently come to the US. Meanwhile, I'm just wondering, why is she so urgent about this? Then she just pops out with a bait and switch of, "Oh, I wanted to actually go to Las Vegas to do OF content together." My wife is sitting literally right next to me. Lily is fully aware of my wife JC and how we're together and how we're monogamous. I never hinted to Lily that I was interested in anything like that, and I'm wondering why she assumed I would just agree to it immediately if borders weren't an issue, because no, I would not have agreed to that under any circumstances. We didn't have that kind of relationship at all, me and Lily.
This video would cause Nick to get a lot of backlash, and he would quickly try to address the accusations and sweep as much evidence he could under the rug. But people would quickly catch on and realize the responses that Nick was putting out were planned out in a way to manipulate his fan base, to make them believe he was the one who did nothing wrong. He would also quickly leave and delete his Discord server that anyone who bought a subscription to could join it to potentially get rid of a lot of evidence about him. Now, after a few weeks went by with Nick not really saying anything about the allegations, he would make another response video to fully address everything that was being said about him.
It's my turn to talk. A lot of things have been said about me recently, and I'd like to clear them up. We'll start with Cassie. Cassie is a fellow content creator that I asked to come with me to Vegas to collab and hang out after Colleen said no. Now, after Colleen posted her first couple of videos, Cassie and Colleen got together in a voice chat. Colleen recorded it without Cassie's knowledge. That call was later posted on TikTok, and it implies that I took advantage of Cassie, which I didn't. And if you want proof, I have posted every single DM between Cassie and I on both Instagram and Discord, including videos, including voice memos in the link in my bio. You can go look at those yourself, but let's run through the highlights. First and foremost, Cassie reached out to me first, and over the course of our conversation, she came on pretty strong. She sent me lots of pictures and videos and made it super clear that she was interested. Now, I didn't mind this, but I want to be clear that she was the one pushing the ball forward. And on June 6th, which is over a month before I ever ever asked Cassie to come to Vegas with me, she suggested first that if I'm ever traveling, we could collab. Once Cassie and I decided to meet in Vegas and collab, Cassie would often message me about how excited she was, and I was excited too. We also thought we might apply to work with Queer Crush once the dates were decided on, but sadly the dates never got decided. So clearly Cassie got roped in by Colleen, who's on a vendetta against me. You can watch my previous video that addresses everything that Colleen has said about me, but I want to remind you what kind of person Colleen is. You can of course see the full proof in my bio, but let's just say that Colleen, formerly known as Robin, has some racist skeletons in her closet that she doesn't want you to know about. And look, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm loud, I'm annoying sometimes, I'm stubborn, but the people you really want to worry about are the ones that are pushing this biased narrative to begin with. And if you don't believe me, look at the link in my bio.
Now, some people might have thought this response video was actually pretty good, and that Nick did well addressing the allegations. When I saw the response video, I had a weird feeling something wasn't right with it. And only a few hours later, that feeling I had would become a reality when Colleen immediately made a response video right after Nick made his. Her video alone counters a lot of things Nick said about her and the honesty that he was trying to give out in his video.
I wanted this to be over 3 weeks ago, but I kept getting dragged back into it, and I'm so fucking tired of this. I'm not even gonna address the fact that Lilly said that I recorded Cassie without her permission, because Cassie's gonna come out with her own video saying completely otherwise. She completely lied about that. And most of Lily's video was just talking about how Cassie was coming on very strong or whatever bullshit, which is wrong, because just because someone is being nice to you and that's their way of talking does not mean you can keep going and going and going, trying to push someone to come over fucking seas so you could have sex with them. And lastly, she called me racist. But since we're bringing up my apparent past, how about your real past? How about the time when you were bragging about sexually assaulting a 3-year-old back when you were kids, playing doctor and touching her? How about the fact you literally said the N-word on camera and haven't addressed it? Or how about the fact you defended blackface? Like, what the fuck? I don't know how this person is just this fucked in the head. Honestly, you are a huge piece of shit. Using people's insecurities, sexually harassing people. You are a predator.
Now, if you are just as disturbed as I was when I saw what Colleen had said about Nick, trust me when I say this, but things are about to get a lot worse from here on now. Now, after Colleen posted this video, Nick would quickly delete his response video and the alleged proof that he had on his Instagram, making himself look even more guilty than before. It would then also be leaked by someone that the company Queer Crushers, which was the company that Nick told Colleen he wanted to do OnlyFans content for, their founder would reach out to Colleen themselves to address what happened with Nick. They would write in the following message: "Hello Colleen, this is Electra Reyna, the founder and director for Queer Crush. I wanted to reach out to you regarding the Lilly Tino situation. To provide some clarity, we did not ever have a scene scheduled with Lilly, and in fact, she never actually even applied to work with us. She approached our social media coordinator at a Pride event and expressed interest and was told to apply via the website. She then DM'd our Instagram and was again told to apply via the website. She did not ever apply and therefore was never considered and never reached the stage where we research the applicant or discuss partner selections. Additionally, we would never book a scene without talking directly with all parties in advance. We have a form that all performers are required to individually fill out during the scheduling process before they ever get to set. This survey collects info on limits and boundaries, language they do or don't want used to describe them, and info on things they do enjoy and may want to do in their scene as well. Because our entire site is about folks only doing things they actually enjoy and we never tell people what to do, this step is a crucial part of our planning process. We would never book a model who wasn't explicitly interested in working with us and hadn't provided information on their comfort and desires in advance. On behalf of myself and my company, we want to extend our deepest apologies and sympathies for what you are going through and want you to know that we absolutely support you in speaking up and protecting your boundaries. The fact that the company's founder themselves had to reach out to Colleen to tell her what really happened says a lot. Now, I don't usually support companies that do porn or stuff like this, but I gotta give them respect for keeping the people that work there safe. Now, with this message alone from the company, it gives a lot of credibility to Colleen's video and her accusations of sexual harassment. This is really bad for Nick because it really discredits his honesty and his response video. But the accusations would start to become more believable when another TikToker called Cassie Moans would comment under Nick's video a lot of alarming things. Cassie would comment things under Nick's video such as, "You didn't say what I wanted you to say, so L cherry-picked info to make you look bad. Nice. Should I leak the literal crimes you're committing? Lilly came after me, actually. Lilly offered the collab. Lilly lied. Lilly didn't like when one couldn't do. Lilly blackmailed me, and Lilly is committing sexual crimes against minors exposing yours. Yourself to minors is fucking disgusting. I wasn't. Also, thanks for cherry-picking info and attempting to force me to lie for you. Go away." This response from Cassie really doesn't help Nick's case at all and just makes things worse for him. But at the same time, this also throws Cassie into the situation as well. Now, if you remember the response video from Nick I showed earlier, you would have seen a part that Nick talked about how Cassie was his friend for quite a while, until Colleen had made the expose video on Nick. One of the main accusations that Cassie had said about Nick from the comments that was mainly important to many was the one she said about Nick had been doing inappropriate things with minors. And this claim is actually backed up by a lot of evidence. According to many people that were a part of Nick's Discord server, he would live stream quite a lot on the server topless. Now keep in mind, these live streams were viewed mainly by Nick's supporters. Anyone who bought a subscription on Nick's TikTok was able to gain access to the server with no issue. There were no age verifications or any way to check and see who exactly was buying these subscriptions from Nick or even joining the Discord server. This means that there were allegedly minors in this Discord server and they were watching Nick go topless in these live streams. There is also another allegation from a transgender sex worker who accused Nick of trying to pay them to do some disgusting, inappropriate things for him. From what this service was allegedly, Nick wanted this worker to act underage for him. It honestly makes me sick to my stomach that this 32-year-old man will go to these certain extents to fulfill his nasty fantasies. It's very strange that apparently Cassie knew all of the things that Nick had been doing, and despite all of that, she continued to be friends with him up until Colleen made her video on Nick. From what I heard from many people, they think that Cassie is more involved with Nick and the allegations than what she's telling people right now. This would also explain why Cassie would threaten Nick with legal action as well, causing him to panic and delete his response video. Now, as of making this video, Colleen and Cassie have stated they're working on a massive video that would explain the whole entire drama, but so far it hasn't came out yet. They did have an interview together talking about Nick, however, and I have to admit there were some really interesting parts to the video.
Just after you got your eyebrows done, that's when Lilly started putting me up.
Yeah.
And she basically was like, "Oh, come to Vegas, and I'm gonna grab you, and she's gonna come to Vegas too."
Wait. What?
Yeah, she told me.
Wait. What does she want? A foursome? Because she invited JC too. Did she want like a foursome? Like what is?
Oh, did she?
I don't, because JC was invited and like.
Yes. Was she? Wow.
What was her plan? Holy shit.
She was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm talking to you, and you're probably, like you're trying to sort out some Canadian citizenship crap, but you'll probably be able to come over to Vegas. And you might not, but you might be." And then she asked me to come, and I was like, "Oh, well, I get really dizzy, and I hate traveling and things like that. I get vertigo and all this." But then she's like, but how are you getting nausea?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, if I roll over in bed too many times,
What does she
I vomit."
mean? No. What? What do you mean? That's like some people get nausea on flights. What?
Yeah, I get nausea.
Yeah, like being on a flight, like a 12 to 17 hour flight is like hell on earth for me. Like I'm
It's a
thinking about
long
not going on
flight. That is a long flight.
Yeah, and I'm not the most healthiest person in the world. My body's a bit sickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, I don't really like doing this. Why would I come over?" And she's like, "Oh, well, you can jump in all my live streams and this and that, and then we could film together for OnlyFans. And there's this dungeon that I've talked to, and we can hire it because people might know who we are, and blah blah blah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
she basically didn't believe that I was telling her that it is quite severe, to the point where I don't like traveling. Like,
Oh my
it's very
God.
tough.
That's horrible.
And then so once she wouldn't take that as a no, I said I don't have a passport.
Did you just say you didn't have a passport just to get her off your back, or?
I'm actually renewing it.
Oh, okay.
I have it in my hand now.
Oh, so it just wasn't in your name, but you had one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do now. Like, sorted that out now. And in the meantime, like, it was a few days after, she messaged me and was like, "Oh, by the way, I've just applied for my passport, blah blah blah, in case, like, I don't know."
In case she wanted to come over to you.
I don't know what she was intending, but the part that really concerned me was that she was like, "Come to Vegas." It felt like she was saying, like, "Come, like, in 3 days' time," type thing.
Like ASAP.
Yeah, like, yes, actually, yes, that's the word she used, ASAP.
That's why. So this is how kind of fucked up it is. I'm in Canada. So I'm from the US. I'm from Florida. I moved to Canada specifically to be with JC. And Lily knew that, obviously. We like been talking for like ever. JC was in our Discord server before I was even there for like 2 months before. And then I joined, and like she knew our entire deal. And so I'm here in Canada, and right now I have a work permit. So I'm good to stay here legally till May of next year. In the meantime, I'm applying for my permanent residence so I can stay here permanently. The thing is, if I leave the country, my work permit goes null and void. I can't use it anymore.
Yeah, and you have to reapply.
Well, the problem is that I might get stuck in the U.S. again when I have all my like life here in Canada. This is my theory, and I guess kind of correct. You were in a vulnerable spot, and Lily swooped in there. Does that sound about it right?
Yeah, and Were
you aware that she used to follow you on OnlyFans?
I noticed. I went into OnlyFans because I reply my messages like once or twice a week, and I went into it and I noticed that she had subbed and she actually paid for a bunch of my PPVs.
I don't know if you even were aware of this because it kind of happened after, like before you came. Do you remember the Willy Wonka chocolate factory thing in the UK that happened, or like?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
She met at Disney World the Oompa Loompa chick.
Oh, yeah.
And this chick was with all of her friends and like I think some like producers, like some like. And Lily basically just swooped in and joined her friend group. And like, it was so weird. She was like in all the pictures. She was just tagged along and try to leech off of this person. And that's how I felt like it would probably be if we ever did like an actual collab. She would want to basically parade me around like some puppet, just be like, "Oh, look who I have here." And I'm just like, no, I would just want to be there as like friends. That's why I would like not even want to do that. Side note, she tried to get a foursome. I
had no idea.
Like that was her plan. Like I don't like I'm in disbelief about that. Like she like
I don't know how I feel. Like I felt like it was coercive, but then I'm like,
but then I'm like, oh,
it was.
I felt like I was going crazy for 2 weeks straight.
Yes, thank you, me too. And I told to like hurry up and get over here.
Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with her?
He's doing this to multiple people.
Yeah, to me and you.
Told me that would likely see you over there.
When I was watching her response video last night, I opened my face like because it was such a bad response. I have no idea like who signed off on this because she completely tells lie after lie. Like, I could just prove you wrong over and over and over again. It's just I was going to say, like, I told her no, like 3 times, but she still sent me a link to this place and also said it would be mutually beneficial financially.
Yeah, she said that same thing to me because I told her that, like, I'm like, look, if I do come over, I don't need to do that. I can sort all my own team, my own resources. I can sort all my shit. We're not going to go to whatever that is. I don't have.
And here's another thing, too. I think you make even more money than me on OF, to be honest.
I'm top 0.3, I think.
So I was going to say, she only makes like 500 or less a month on OnlyFans. She's like a nobody compared to either of us, which is why I thought it was funny when she said it'd be mutually beneficial, because there would be only one person benefiting from this, and it's not either of us. It's Lily.
Yeah. I thought the same because I asked her. I was like, oh hey, like, so she was pitching it to me like to be financially for both of us, which then I was like, I found that strange because I was like on OnlyFans you don't have any following, but it was weird that she kept pitching it that particular way. Because I asked her, I was like, oh, like, how are you doing financially and all that sort of shit. And apparently she makes the most of her money off TikTok.
I think she makes in the range between 5 to 10 grand in creator fund off of TikTok, because what she does is she specifically makes her videos a minute long, and that's the point where you start making money off those videos. You have to make a minute long or longer video. I think she specifically wants people to put like hateful comments because she wants people to scroll while the video is going, so the video just keeps going. Yeah.
And then I was being led to believe that you two were like super close.
The thing is, we were close as in like me and JC would just pop in on her live streams and that's it. I wouldn't really talk that much. To be honest, I never really trusted her Lily's lovelies that much because every single time there's a controversy or someone leaves the community and talks shit about them, they've always like cult-like defended Lily. So I didn't really trust them. So we were more like acquaintances, but I tried to give her advice like whenever I could, like if she like looked like she needed some advice. It was not the level of, hey, let's go have sex together and film it on camera. It was not that level at all.
Yeah, no, because like I was just talking to her randomly about stuff, and it was out of the blue. It was like the second or third day I talked to her, and she just messaged me being like, hey, like, would you collab on OnlyFans? I have an OnlyFans now. And I was like, what? And I actually said, like, I even asked her, I was like, oh yeah, I've been, if I did come to America ever again, I actually was thinking of going to San Francisco. So maybe because I heard that, Lily lives in San Fran.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I could come visit you in San Fran. But she was real particular about saying no, and that it has to be Vegas.
I think it's literally because of that studio. Whenever she's like saying, oh, I just wanted to go to Vegas for all this other stuff. No, that's secondary. Her primary interest in Vegas is that porn studio. I think, I don't yeah.
But now I'm a bit nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look into it, but now I'm like, shit. So she was probably trying to set up some wicked hardcore shit.
She was like,
oh, Jesus.
And I was telling JC this. It really feels like it's like impossible for her to have a normal just friendship or acquaintance with like a attractive trans woman without trying to pursue her. Because that's like, I think the fact that she was just trying to just really be pushy about it, and the fact that she asked so soon after even meeting you, and then she met you at like a vulnerable moment. That's pretty bad.
I can't remember the context, but I think Ava blew up at me.
Yeah.
And then because she said that I was being too trans, and also I think that's silly. I don't think anyone
very
can say
silly.
That. Like, and then Lily hit me up weirdly. I thought it was around then, and the whole thing is very strange. And I want to write down a few clear points of things that happened. But I've never felt this pushed to do something. Felt like I've said no so many times, and she just doesn't get it.
Exactly. This is a pattern. She has a pattern of doing this.
I was like, wait a minute. The fact I was like, yeah, people can be shit, people can fuck people over, but the fact that she's doing the exact same shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it felt really strange.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm gonna have a look into that studio because she basically outright said that she wouldn't meet me in San Fran. I
don't want to tell you what to do, but like maybe just cut off communication with her for a bit while you figure this out. If she does want to talk on the phone again, record that shit. Because she has a pattern of wanting to talk on the phone and just completely just wants to have no evidence at all.
That's what she did. Oh my god, I didn't realize. She didn't. That's right. She got me on a phone call and then dropped a lot of us.
This is not the first time she's done this. She's done this with one of her ex-mods too.
Yeah. She was forcing me for a phone call too. Like, because I'm like, I'm busy, I'm busy. I got shit going on. She's like, no, like, just call now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? But like, I understand. Like with me and you right now is a whole different ball game. But I was so confused, and like I was like, everything felt so weird. But I was like, it can't be anything more than just this, right? And then so hearing this, I'm like, I'm like, really? What's going on?
Lily
and why is she trying to live over there? And like,
I've been in the Discord for a while, and she is very open with how she talks about sex. She'll just randomly talk about it in her Discord lives, and I've always thought that was really, really strange that she was always talking about that. Like, because like people are like at work listening to her, and she randomly just talks about this kind of shit. She doesn't like realize that sex is like, it's not just like a random like, it's not just like a collab. No, you have to know this person. You have to trust this person.
Yeah. Trust and have sort of good vibes with them. So like the chemistry looks right on camera and you can fully trust them not to take advantage and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But don't feel that way. And so I've been trying to say no, and she keeps pushing for it. Like when I said no passport, but at this point I have a passport in my hand, and she's like, when's it going to get there?
It was strange though, because on her TikTok lives, it sounded like you were a shoo-in to go.
Yeah, no.
What? So she was like saying, she was preemptively saying that that's insane.
I tried to tell her. I told her, I was like, look, maybe next year, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe next year, like I could be feeling a bit better, and yeah. But no, that wasn't acceptable. Like it was like, no, come now. Why can't you come now? But I don't want to tell you. Leave me alone. Like you don't need or have a right to know. I feel bad because it's like she's getting bullied by everyone, and then I'm like, surely she's not being this manipulative. But
She is.
like,
did you see her live when she was immediately like reacting to my thing?
I didn't see that, no, because like I saw you, and then I was like, oh, what the God? And I've been thinking on that.
God, she said she just assumed all trans women were poly.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like she straight up just said that. Like, no, absolutely fucking not. Like people were telling me like, oh, but she sent you like a thoughtful apology, whatever. I did not accept that apology because I knew she would turn around and just lie about it if she was ever talk about it in public. I knew she would do that. That's why I even like went public with it and didn't even reply to her about her apology because I didn't freaking believe it.
The sad reality of all of this is despite Nick being called out multiple times to properly address the allegations, he's continued to make content and live stream on TikTok like it was nothing. He's continued to be the exact same person in his videos and live streams, going to restaurants and film himself getting misgendered and him getting kicked out of restaurants. It's the same rinse and repeat he's doing because he knows it'll bring him views no matter what.
Hi, I know you wanted to sit at this table, but we have reservations, so
Oh.
I'm going to have to move you to a smaller table.
Okay.
Are you having lunch with us today? Okay. So I can move you over here, then the server will get you started in a few minutes.
Okay. Are all of these taken?
Yeah, the bigger tables have to be open because we have a lot of reservations today.
Okay,
So I can
what
put you
time?
in a smaller they're all different times, so we're about to set up this section for a party that's coming in.
Oh, okay.
So
What time do you think they'll come in? Just because it'll probably be pretty loud, I would imagine, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I just don't want to set up at a table if it's going to get loud in like 30 minutes. Maybe it'd be...
It'll be loud everywhere in the cafe.
Okay.
Yeah. But so would you like to still sit and eat? Because I can move you over here.
Just so I know, like, when do you think like this will be popping, I guess? Because it's like empty now, so...
Our lunch rush right now. And
Okay.
We have a lot of reservation. It's the holiday. People are on break, so we expect to be busy all day.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can move you over here. It's probably going to be the quietest right now. But
Okay. I think I'll probably just leave.
okay.
It's completely empty in here, by the way. Like, completely empty. Someone sat me here and I was like, can I take the bigger table? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure she just kicked me out because she didn't like me or something. Lots of reservations, they say. Lots of reservations. When are the reservations? Oh, I don't know when the reservations are, but you can't be here, basically. Do you want to move to like a small table that is bad lighting, and even though we already told you could sit at this table? Me and my girlfriend were going to a wine castle, and we sat down for our tasting, and at first they were just very rude and didn't really answer our questions, and we didn't really feel welcome. Our server said, yes, sir, when I was asking some questions, and I said, oh, no, I'm actually not a sir. And instead of apologizing, or I don't know what else you would do other than apologize, they just walked away. Did not acknowledge what I said, just walked away. We saw the server like whispering to a manager, and a few minutes later, the manager came over and, really big smile, not acknowledging at all that the misgender had happened. And I say, hey, look, the last person, they misgendered me and that really hurt. And they just walked away. And the manager said, oh, well, some people just aren't as progressive as you. And then they gave us a nice little chocolate that suggested they wanted our money but didn't want to say sorry. So we left and got a full refund. It's one thing to get misgendered and then get an apology, but it's another thing to get misgendered and then be told that it's okay and not to worry about it, and here's a chocolate. I have been misgendered 3 times in the past 24 hours at restaurants. Last night I was at Benihana with my girlfriend, and the server said, what about you, sir? What would you like to eat? My girlfriend, God bless her heart, steps in, says, actually, that's ma'am. And she looks at my girlfriend and didn't really understand what had happened and said, no, I'm talking to him, pointing at me. Our jaws were on the floor and we decided to leave because it was just a bad vibe after that. And just a few minutes ago, I was at another restaurant for lunch and they showed me my seat and said, "Here you go, sir." And I said, "I am not a sir." And then I left because I wasn't comfortable anymore. And I went to a new restaurant and I asked, before I sit down, where's the bathroom, please? And they said, "Oh, it's right this way, sir." And I just left because I wasn't comfortable anymore. If you're a server in the food industry, you don't need to use words like sir or ma'am. There are ways to be respectful without using those words. And if you get it wrong for someone like me, I will probably leave the restaurant. And it puts like a bad vibe on my day when it happens, especially when it happens 3 times in a row.
It's been very clear by Nick's actions that he clearly doesn't give a shit about what happened and just wants people to forget everything that happened between him, Colleen, and Cassie. The only thing we can really hope for right now is the video Colleen and Cassie are working on that could potentially be the final nail in the coffin for Nick, but only time will tell. In conclusion, I don't think there's any hope left for Nick's career. He's completely destroyed not only his reputation, but his trust with many people. This man is a monster who needs to be locked away as soon as possible. And I think once Colleen and Cassie post the video addressing the drama with Nick, it might be the final nail in the coffin for his career. So yeah, that's it for this video. See you guys later.
For drama, we smoking nada. Black leather on the jeans and the